Impact.
What's up, everybody? Coach Trav here from Impact Strength and Performance in Bellevue. Today's video is going to be for all of my athletes because we all have to squat. It's going to be on the squat today. So it's just one of the things that I see and hear a lot, as well as just out when I'm doing warm-ups for teams and whatnot, is when athletes are in a squatting pattern, I often see this, what's called valgus collapse, right? So when they're squatting, here, I'll step back for you guys. When they're squatting, their knees cave in a little bit, right? Squat down, the knees cave in. The problem with this is not a good pattern, right? It's not an efficient way to move, and it's also an indicator that we're not recruiting a lot of motor units from our glutes. And when we're not doing that, we are much more susceptible to injuries. Most knee injuries happen in this plane of motion here, not so much that, but more that inside. So the more we reinforce that movement pattern, right, or that neural pathway, the higher the chances are that that's how we want to absorb energy on the field, right? So the best place to train yourself to change the way that we absorb energy is in the weight room. And one of those ways is the squat. And here's what we use when we see our athletes with that problem. And we go ahead and get one of these bands. It's a blue Perform Better. It's called a mini band. These, like some of the other bands that we use here, are gold, and we use them all the time. It's simple, cheap. I suggest everybody goes out and get them. So first things first, the way that we do these is we want to put our bands on and put them around the top part of our knees, okay? Not the bottom, but the top part. Now what we do is we cue our athletes to press against the resistance, okay? So the resistance is pulling my knees in. In order for me to push against it, my glutes have to activate, right? They have to get turned on, for lack of a better term. So as we go through the pattern, as we go through the movement, right, we have to keep the tension on this band by continually pushing our knees out, pushing our knees out. Now all this is doing is, like I said, recruiting more motor units. So when you're doing that, you're obviously a lot more stable and you're a lot more strong because you have more tissue working the pattern, okay? And what it's also doing is it's allowing your body and your nervous system to remember the neural pathway it chose to absorb force. So the more we can reinforce that pattern, the more that we can reinforce our glutes being an integral part of absorbing force, the more when we get on the field, this type of action is less likely to happen, okay? So these are things that if, again, you see your athletes or your teammates or your kids having valgus collapse, put one of these things on above the knees, perform your regular squats, whether it's back squats, kettlebell, goblet squats, front squats, whatever type of squat that you're doing, you can implement this in right away and change the game just like that. So I hope this helps. Hit me up if you have any questions, trav@goimpactstrength.com, and I will get back to you guys. Thank you.